Space is creepy. There, I said it. For all our talk of progress, we've only barely scratched the surface. And what we have found kind of makes you want to keep the lights on. Here are the top 10 creepiest discoveries made in space. Let's open up the files. Let's start with one of the strangest modern legends of space, the Black Knight satellite. First spotted. Back in the 1960s, this supposed object in low Earth orbit defies classification. It's not one of ours, not Russian, not debris, not natural, but it's up there. Multiple images from NASA missions accidentally caught shadowy, oddly symmetrical objects floating in the void. Every explanation proposed, from thermal blankets to space junk, never quite sticks. What adds fuel to the mystery is the radio signals. As early as the 1920s, scientist Nikola Tesla claimed he received unknown transmissions from space. Later, in the 1950s, ham radio operators picked up strange coded signals. Some claim to have triangulated it to an object orbiting in polar orbit decades before we had that capability. The object didn't broadcast every night. It seemed to come alive at intervals, then disappear into silence. Some think it's proof of alien surveillance. Others say it's a Cold War ghost. Either way, it's still up there, watching. Saturn isn't known for sound, but in 2006, when NASA's Cassini spacecraft passed through the planet's powerful magnetic field, it picked up something unexpected. A pulsing, harmonic frequency that sounded eerily like a chorus of distant screams or spectral singing. NASA officially called this signal a radio emission from Saturn's auroras, basically northern lights on cosmic steroids. But even seasoned engineers admitted it felt different. The sound wasn't constant. It wavered, warbled, like something or someone was trying to form words. Audio researchers compared it to whale song if whales were upset. Some listeners swore they heard whispering in the background. NASA chalks it up to plasma waves and charged particles. But many who heard it in raw form said it sounded far too emotional, like pain or warning. Whatever it is, whenever Cassini crossed into Saturn's charged shadow, it heard something no one was prepared for. The Soviet space program was legendary for secrecy, but even they couldn't contain this one. Before Yuri Gagarin officially became the first man in space in 1961, rumours swirled that other cosmonauts had gone up and never come down. For decades, amateur radio operators claimed to intercept transmission fragments of distressed Russian speech coming from orbit. In 1960, two Italian brothers monitoring Soviet transmissions reported hearing a woman's panicked breathing and fading cries for help in Russian. No mission was scheduled that day. Another time, they recorded what sounded like a failing heartbeat monitor, followed by silence. The Soviet Union denied everything, but leaked documents and post-USSR sources hint that there may have been secret test launches, even manned ones, that were scrubbed from the record after disaster. If true, those lost cosmonauts may still be circling Earth, silently, eternally. In 2018, astronomers found something that shouldn't exist, a galaxy called NGC 1052 DF2, with almost no dark matter. Now, dark matter is supposed to make up most of the universe. It's like the invisible glue holding everything together. And here was a galaxy that basically said, "Nah, we're good." Scientists were baffled. You'd think less dark matter means the galaxy would collapse or lose cohesion. But it's just floating there, chilling, suspiciously stable. What's more, its stars move way too slowly, as if time itself behaves differently inside it. One theory? It's a false vacuum scenario, essentially a patched corner of space-time where the laws of physics decided to glitch out. Others speculate it's a cosmic decoy, or worse, evidence of manipulation. A fabricated system built to test us. Honestly, if there's one place I don't want to accidentally drop into on a wormhole joyride, it's that one. Too quiet, too clean. In 2003, astronaut Michael Foale reported something strange. While alone aboard the International Space Station, he heard a knocking sound. Rhythmic, like someone was gently tapping on the hull from the outside. Except there's no outside visitor at 250 miles above Earth. No weather, no animals, just the void and whatever's in it. Foale wasn't the only one. Over the years, several astronauts on board the ISS and older Soviet Mir station have reported knocks, clunks, even what sounded like footsteps. Engineers have written it off as thermal expansion or shifting components, but the knocks often came when the station was in full mechanical stillness, in Earth's shadow. Silence. Then tap, tap, tap. The real kicker? One astronaut swore the pattern matched SOS in Morse code. Space doesn't echo, and micrometeors don't knock politely. So, who or what is knocking? In 2015, NASA's Kepler Space Telescope detected what was described as an orphan planet. It's called 2-mass J2126-8143, and it's weird. It's roughly the size of Jupiter, floating through space, unconnected to any visible star system. But then it got creepier. When they looked deeper, they realised this planet does have a star. It's just so far away, its orbit would take 900,000 years to complete. That makes our year feel like a sneeze. Scientists are still trying to figure out how something that distance away from its heat source could sustain its gas giant state or magnetic field. Some even theorise that smaller planetary systems orbit it, undiscovered, like a rogue caravan in deep space. Others say the entire setup is artificial, set in motion by something, like a forgotten space station, or worse, something meant to never be found again. In 2003, the Chandra X-ray Observatory pointed toward the Perseus galaxy cluster and picked up something it shouldn't have. A sound, or more specifically, pressure waves converted into the deepest known note in the universe. A B-flat, 57 octaves below middle C. Too deep for any human ear, but there it was. Resonance, echoing through space like an impossibly slow heartbeat. Scientists called it a single note humming endlessly for billions of years. Creepy enough. But what makes it stranger? The pattern of the sound. It wasn't random. It fluctuated and repeated at intervals that some researchers compared to coded language, like binary ripples across cosmic dust. It wasn't just noise, it was something trying to say something, or remember. Ah yes, the infamous Mars face. Remember those grainy, pixelated photos from the 1970s Viking missions? What looked like a human face sculpted into the Martian surface sparked decades of debate. NASA later dismissed it with sharper images, but the vibe never left. Because here's what they don't advertise. Even after high-res imaging and categorising it as pareidolia, basically your brain seeing something familiar like a face in clouds, there are still structural anomalies in the surrounding Cydonia region. Straight-line formations, pyramid-like shadows, geometric patterns that don't line up with natural erosion. Some ex-NASA employees have publicly questioned the dismissals. Even Carl Sagan once said it deserved further investigation. So yeah, the face may just be a rock, but if it is a rock, it's a rock that seems to be watching us, still. Let's talk about 3200 Phaethon, a curious cosmic object officially labelled a rock comet. Scientists call it a dead comet because it doesn't have the usual volatile ice and tail you'd expect, but it still sheds debris, and somehow it causes the Geminid meteor shower every December. But here's the spooky part. Its orbit shifts, slightly, every time it nears the sun, almost as if it's steering. In 2017, NASA's Parker Solar Probe picked up strange magnetic anomalies when near Phaethon's proximity path. Some researchers even questioned if the object has a hollow cavity or an internal mechanism. What kind of dead rock pulses so precisely? Phaethon is 3 miles wide, easily large enough to hide an object inside it. Comet? Space station? or something left behind. In 2012, NASA lost regular contact with the Voyager 1 spacecraft for several hours. That's not supposed to happen. Voyager was launched in 1977 and has been steadily moving away from Earth ever since, communicating every day. So when the signal glitched, it raised alarms. When it came back online, Voyager transmitted coordinates it shouldn't have had access to, vector data pointing the antenna away from Earth, as if it was trying to reach something else. Engineers wrote it off as software drift from decades of spaceware. But unofficially, a few team members admitted the data packets showed formatting inconsistencies, bits of unknown characters. Some sequences were repeated in prime numbers. Voyager wasn't just drifting. For a moment, it seemed to be responding. To what? No one knows. Maybe something finally answered back. That's it for tonight's trip into the uncanny corridors of the cosmos. If any of that made your skin crawl, you're in good company. Hit like, subscribe, and keep the notification bell lit. We've got new weirdness landing every weeknight. Wherever you are, I hope the night treats you gentle. That was your dose of the unknown. See you in the next file. Subscribe for more of the unknown.